Alright, welcome back. Last time we defeated Xenos and finished the main portion of Stormblood, and now we're getting into the post Stormblood story on our way towards Shadowbringers. Arenvald's adventure.
Come to see how we're getting on?
Mm-hmm.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The Reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you.
You have?
Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Okay.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure?
Ooh,
After
adventure.
all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not?
Yes, yes we were. What do you have in mind?
After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
Twist my arm, why don't you? That slow smile was kind of menacing. Right then, let's go and find Master Leveilleur. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte, and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Alright. To the Aetheryte then. Don't mind me, I'm just flying on a cloud. Greetings, Asuka. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Arenvald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat the throne. A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts. That he was, the King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rauga's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became property of the king, and it's said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden mountain. You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make an attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come. The legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer could? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. I've learned the boxing emote, which looks like this. Elfino, the darkness below. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion, which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arnvald, have we any clue as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere. So, we'll probably need to, ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you'll be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arenvald, pray try your luck at in the fringes and the peaks, whilst Oscar makes the rounds in the Alamegan quarter. Ha! And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbard's Gate. Alright. To the Alamegan quarter, which is here. Let's see, where are the people we talked to? Here's one. In the palace? No, not me, lass. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. They used to hold public executions up on the Divine Audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice to say, I stayed as far away from the palace as possible. That's fair. I would have too. And you, ma'am? You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once. The mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Alright. And we've got another person over this way. There he is. Hello, sir. Why, I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric, and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. Alright, let's go find Arnold. Where are you, Arnold? There's Arnold. Yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. If Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public execution of his kinsman. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's brood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Yeah? Go track down Ehrenwald. There he is. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself. But I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Asuka? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Monsters under the palace? Turned into monsters? What could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Algieri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could the scribe fellow have been spinning you her a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Asuka? His fears seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale. I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Don't be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is. Dare I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arnold, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamigan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emergent third eye. Like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans, my mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Oof. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, and worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall. I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Oscar, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Of course. Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's trove, if you are minded to hear it. Yes, of course. Oh. The Mad King's Trove. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, I mean, good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Selg. Okay. The walls are very high. There we go. All this rain. Forgive me, it was not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the great flood of the 6th Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, I believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Selg. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe, is not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that... oh, this is Alpha still. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city would have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Oscar, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. Yeah? Sounds good. We'll go for a swim. On one of our mounts, though, because it's faster. Look. I think we found it. Press on and see where it goes. Dun dun dun. I think we found it. Oscar, it's Alpha now. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by enchantments. Have you aught to report? Yes, I found a door. Do you believe it leads into the ruins? Excellent. And I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, that's Arnold. Oh, come on, you two. Might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. Alright, let's see how long it's gonna take to get in this. Well, we'll see. Oh, that was quick. After the waits we had earlier. Looks like we've got a monk, an astrologian, and a dark knight. Party with us. Like some members of this party were in a party earlier. Probably doing their daily roulettes. Cool. The tank is doing as big a pull as it can. I'm not going to complain about that, because that does make things a little faster. To the first boss, who is a Kelpie. It's got a bit of damaging area around the outside of the boss arena, which is a thing that starts happening more and more now. The ability he's using, Hydro Pull, pulls us towards him, and if we're not all the way on the other edge, then we'll get pulled into that stuff on the outside of the arena. which I can't remember if it just does a bunch of damage or if it kills us. Either way, we don't want to be there when it happens. Some sort of target on me. There we go. Just gonna keep that off of me long enough. And keep it away from the rest of the group. Don't need rings. Don't want to stand in that. Big stone dudes. Oh, I died. I do kind of want that necklace. It looks cool. We'll wait and see if the healer's gonna bring me back. That was my fault for standing in an attack. Go. I have been resurrected. So I can get right back into the fight. Second boss. It's a statue of some sort. I want to take out these things. As long as they're standing, we can't hurt the boss. Alright, he's turned us into Spriggans. Spriggans get to plant bombs next to these things, blow them up. stop me from getting my dance off. Alright. Back to it. I could have cast need or rolled need on that one of those necklaces because it's of aiming, which means it's for ranged damage, which means I would have just won it because nobody else would have been able to roll need on it. I only want it for the way it looks. We've been transformed into weird bulbous things. We get transformed again. So we need to do that to get over these holes. Don't need the earring. The tall humanoid-looking enemies are called rotting royals. So it seems that indeed the Mad King did transform people related to him into monsters. Whatever this is. A lion bat thing. The monk apologizing. He must have accidentally pulled the boss before the tank did. Get away. Dodged whatever that was. Wasn't even intending to. Got pushed attack. Well, by the person who it was centered on. That one was on me for standing in the way. The idea with a circle like that is to try to position it away from everyone. You can. Which means for a couple of seconds I'm going to attack my comrades. Oh, he turned back into a person. Oh, I guess I can't commend anyone. They all left. There we go. You guys all right?
Oh, bugger it.
Are you all right?
Aye. Aye. Everything's still attached.
Ah, it seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you?
Same.
Much the same, then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Yeah.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Mm-hmm.
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Of course. Hello, Elfino. Arnwald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage. But I was not surprised to find you waiting for us. I suppose it serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time we should agree on some manner of handicap. Ah, we may have lost Elfino, but think of what we found. Quite. I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you reeled at the sight of that floating spectre, you mean? Oh, should have heard him scream, Oscar. Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that is all that matters. Arnwald. The Butcher's Blood. All jesting aside, we must tell the people the good news, and I think Lise should be the first. Seconded, there is to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, so she is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Yes. Where is she? This way. Can I get through there? No. Oh, heck. Do this the easy way. Oh, hey, Lise. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise. Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. You're joking. The Mad King's Trove. I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people. But they didn't have Oscar and Elfino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I thought it goes towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's as much as you say. Arnvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that it goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there's one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alfino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything. But I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alfino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths, tell me what's happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You'd best come and see for yourself. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedorla.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it!
Name calling.
We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down!
Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye! And my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance. But we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
He's got a good point.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Well, I mean, their anger is understandable. My thanks, Roban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. It is a difficult tide to stem. It was the same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. Now the war is over, all the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. Maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Representatives will be here soon. I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders and the like? It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we planned a summit of sorts. We even invited the Ananta and the Kikirin to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt the proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated, and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric or Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only, I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye, unforgivable things. But in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born. And that's something I can understand. Alright, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends, she will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. Hello, prison guard. You've the commander's permission to enter then? Yes.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola. I see you for what you are.
Young Fordola.
Come along, Fordola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right! Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart.
A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore-mother.
That was rude.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Fadola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something! My husband and daughter are in danger!
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens! We have rights! I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
That's not good.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Agab. All Garleans.
Fadola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods! What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
Those are the three of her own soldiers that she blew up when she knocked over the tower.
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
Yes.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay! You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
Because of reasons. For those I've lost and those I can yet save.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
These echoes of an echo. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. I've found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Oscar, but the visions only come to me every now and then. And the way Fordola kept wincing though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. There's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who was born with the echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the immortal flames have been scouring the research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? Yeah. But for now, that's where we're gonna call this episode. And we'll get back to it next time.